Kia team, and welcome back to DayZ, welcome back to PS5, welcome back to my technical tips series on vehicles. So, we started out and we explored having a look at all these vehicles, the Sarka, the Olga, the Ada, the Gunter, the MS3 truck, and the Hummer, and we talked about some of the basics about identifying vehicles and the kind of various bits and pieces you needed for vehicles in terms of parts and what you would need to make them roll. Driving characteristics, driving in general, and a few other bits and pieces on the interior and exterior of the vehicles. And what I want to talk about now is I want to talk about maintenance, because we obviously have these vehicles, and I'll be using the Sarka here as my example, but a lot of these things apply to all of the vehicles, and I'll try and point out what things are the same and what things are different. Some of the things you can do, some of the things you cannot do, and there are some things that even I don't know whether they can be done or not. I haven't had the opportunity to try, it hasn't come up, and despite my best efforts to recreate them, it hasn't worked. So anyway, let's talk about these vehicles, and we'll talk about bodywork first before we get into the engine side of things. So as I said to you before, you need these individual components for each of the vehicles. So for a Sarka, there is a Sarka hood, there are Sarka doors, there are Sarka wheels, and there's Sarka boots. But the engine relies on the same things. One battery fits all of the vehicles except for the truck, and one particular spark plug type fits all cars. The Hummer needs a glow plug, the truck doesn't need anything. That means there will be some similarities between all of the vehicles and one or two minor differences. So let's cover the similarities first, which is on the outside of things, and we'll talk about general maintenance. So you'll see here that this Sarka has a pretty good hood. The exterior of the car is actually in pretty good condition. Not too bad. The fenders are all green. There's green here. This door is green. The glass is all green. Oh, this isn't quite green, is it? But that's okay. And oh, the trunk door isn't perfect either, but we've got good bumpers and we've got good fenders, we've got good bodywork. The fenders they call the side panels, I guess, and the bumpers is obviously this bumper section down here that you can't. Some of these areas are a bit twitchy to get hold of. And then you've got the doors as well. This door is in good condition. This door could be in better condition. So if we find bodywork like this that could be in better condition, what can we do about it? Well, luckily enough for bodywork, there's two things you can do about it. The first of the things that you can do about it involves this stuff, epoxy. You ever wondered what this is for? Yes, it's for repairing crossbows, but it's for other things too. So this door here, for example, this door could do with a repair, I think. This door? This door? One of these doors was due for this door. This door definitely needs a repair. That much is true. I felt sure this door needed a repair. No? Alright, never mind. Right, so this door needs a repair. So you'll see there with this epoxy putty in our hand, it says repair. Okay, we'll repair that. A little bit of jiggery pokery. And hey presto, one repaired door. But the trunk door needs a repair. Yes, but what if we don't have epoxy? Darn it, we've just run out. Or we want to keep our epoxy for our bow. Well, if you ever wondered what a blowtorch was for? Well, a blowtorch is for a couple of things. And one of those things is repairing panels, oddly enough. And there we go. One repaired panel. That's not too bad, is it? Right, so now we've got our panels sorted. Now, I was going to repair this door. I thought this was the door in question, but it turns out that it's not the door in question. That said, if we go and have a look at this door over here, this trunk door, I'll explain. So this Gunter 2 trunk door, you can see that it is, it's got cracks all over it. That's because when it was found, it was cracked. Similar to that door over there, which is cracked. Now then, this door was not in good condition, so when I checked it, I repaired it, but it won't repair the glass. So this is what I said to you about these panels and various other bits and pieces when I was talking to you about it. If you pick up a door that is broken like this, then it doesn't matter if you repair it. The glass will stay broken. There's currently no way that I know of to repair glass. So if you don't want it, then take it off, get rid of it if it's obstructing your vision. But there's no way to repair the glass. Sorry about that. Right. So that's bodywork. So we've covered bodywork, and that's the same for all of them. It's the same for all of them. Bodywork is either epoxy or it's blowtorches. However, when it gets to this state, this bumper is ruined. There was an accident with this Hummer. The server glitched, the Hummer hit a tree, and it trashed the bumper. Can't be repaired, I'm afraid. Once anything on a car is at the state of ruined, can't be repaired, and bumpers are irreplaceable. So you can't take them off. Bodywork, sure. Doors and various other bits and pieces, they get broken. Wheels get broken, take them off, toss them, get some new ones. But bumpers, fenders, which is these side panels, no, can't do anything with them once they're ruined. Sorry about that. So, what about tires? Well, for tires, you're going to need this thing. Probably no surprise because you've seen it kicking around. It's called a tire repair kit. So let's go around and see. That looks pretty good because it's not showing anything up. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Ho ho! This one is not so good, but it's not ruined, so we can patch it up. So there you go. We moved it up one state from badly damaged to damaged. That's not a problem. Can we move it up another state? We absolutely can. So tires and wheels can get damaged in all kinds of ways. Sometimes you hit things. Sometimes you take some shots. There's an explosion nearby, whatever the situation is. You treat your car a bit roughly. Same with bodywork. You bump into things, crash into things, smash into things. Bodywork obviously gets damaged. So that's the tire repair kit. That is the bodywork. But obviously, there's other components in the car. You see sometimes these glass windows kind of come and go if they're broken. Sometimes they look more broken than others. Don't worry about it. Kind of fades in and fades out. But yeah. So what about other elements of car? What about the internal engine components of the car? Well, there's some interesting things going on inside the engine of the car, and we'll have a look in just a second. Right. So, save you the painful headache, I've just run this car at high revs for just a couple of minutes until I damage the engine. Remember I was talking about damaging engines? Let's have a look. If you get in, you'll see that there's the yellow engine symbol, which is permanently displayed in the rev counter where the gears are. That means that this engine is has suffered some damage, some wear and tear. But the wear and tear is not terminal. Yes, our engine is damaged, but we can certainly fix it. And how we fix that is with our blowtorch. So if we bring our blowtorch over here, you will see that now when we hold it, it says repair. Now, can we do this with epoxy, you say? I hear you say. You said, wait a minute, Long John. Can we do this with epoxy? Well, let's have a look, shall we? No, you can't. The only way that you can, I'll keep that manually. The only way you can repair an engine, to my knowledge, is with the blowtorch. But there you are, we've got it. Let's repair it. There you go. Repaired. Let's get in and have a look. So now when I'm in the car, you can see that the engine symbol has disappeared, which means we have repaired the engine. Go us. So now we've got a fully functioning engine again. We also have a battery, and we have in here also a spark plug, and we have up front a radiator in this car. But in regular cars, the radiator and everything else is together. So what about batteries? You say, is there anything we can do about batteries? Well, yes, there is if your battery gets damaged. However, you're not going to do that with a blowtorch. What you're going to do to repair a battery is you're going to get an electrical repair kit. Do you remember the electrical repair kits? So if you have a battery that's damaged, and in this case this battery is not, I do believe this battery is, oh no, this battery is damaged. See, it says repair. We can then repair that. Over here, not at the battery, which is a little bit weird, but never mind. And there you go. Let's check the condition of the battery. No longer damaged. It goes to worn. And that's the same for repairing batteries for all these vehicles, including the truck and the Hummer, because they both have batteries. If you want to repair a damaged battery, you need to use the electrical repair kit. Will the electrical repair kit work on a spark plug? No, it won't. I've tried. Doesn't work. Doesn't work in the car. Doesn't work out of the car. I've found no way to repair it. I think this one is badly damaged, as you can see. I don't get any options with this repair kit. Even if I were to focus on it very closely here, which is here, it doesn't give me the options. You cannot repair the spark plug. The spark plug is an expendable. Once it is damaged beyond repair, it is simply damaged beyond repair, and there is absolutely nothing you can do about it, as far as I know. So that's the battery, that's the spark plug. We've covered the engine. What about the radiator, you say? Well, now, this is a damaged radiator here. I haven't damaged any of the radiators in the cars, so I've got this damaged radiator here. To the best of my knowledge, there is no way to repair a damaged radiator. So I'll put this damaged radiator on the ground. What might we try with the damaged radiator? We could try the electrical repair kit. It's not an electrical component. Now, as it happens, that's not going to work. I didn't think it would really. What about a tire repair kit? No, didn't think so. So that's probably not going to work either. What about the blowtorch? Let me say blowtorch. Blowtorch. No, that's not going to work. What else do we need? Oh, what about epoxy, right? We had the epoxy earlier. Here it is, sitting in my inventory. Could we repair it with epoxy? No, can't repair it with epoxy either. So I have not found a way of repairing a battery. Sorry, repairing a radiator with any of the tools that are available. So I'm sorry to say, if your radiator gets damaged, then it is irreparably damaged, and you're going to need to get a new one. So do be careful with your radiators if you must. The only other thing that's up here in the cars is in here, which is in this one, light bulbs. There's light bulbs in this one as well. I haven't found a way to repair light bulbs. To be fair, I haven't found any light bulbs that are in a damaged condition, and the only light bulbs I've had have been either pristine or ruined. And it's just not paying attention. So every possibility a repair kit, but I kind of doubt it, in the same way that a spark plug is irreparable. I don't really think you can repair light bulbs. I think they're an expendable item. It also seems to be, just out of interest, when you actually pick up a light bulb box, the box might say it's damaged, but the light bulb inside is actually always pristine. And it's one light bulb that fits all vehicles, which is kind of good, because you only need one light bulb and it'll fit all of them. It's interchangeable between all of them, and that's simply the way it is. So there we have it for some of the basic maintenance. We've got maintenance for the bodywork, we've got maintenance for the battery, we've got maintenance for the spark plug, or lack thereof, maintenance of the engine, maintenance of the radiator, or lack thereof, and maintenance of the tires. Now, there's one other piece of maintenance before we get on to anything else, and that's with the battery. Now, you'll see that this battery is not carrying an awful lot of charge. So in case you do not know, the battery has two conditions, well, two factors that relate to its usefulness, I guess. The first is its condition state, and this state is worn, and also how much charge it has, and the charge you'll see in the bottom across the bottom, the bar across the bottom. So this one doesn't have an awful lot of charge left. What do you do when you have a battery that doesn't have an awful lot of charge left? Well, you can recharge it, and there's a couple of ways to do that, and I have them set up over here. This is probably the conventional one that most of you are probably most aware of. This is an electricity power generator, and while I'm not going to go into detail about power generators today, the power generator is a gasoline powered object. It requires a spark plug for it to work. It is a combustion engine, and if you have a look down here, you'll see there's a dial for fuel. One of the things I'll say, it doesn't always seem very accurate because this is actually full. So the dial doesn't always seem to come up, but it does come up when you switch it on. So it stays on for a little while, but for some reason, I don't know, it's whatever way the game functions. So I know that this has fuel in it, so that's not a big drama. You're going to need one of these things, which is a battery charger, and you're going to need a battery. So you grab your battery charger and you bring it over to your power generator, and there's 4 sockets on a generator. So you hover near one of the sockets and it will say plug in. You plug in your battery charger. You will have the option to place your battery charger down on the ground, which you do. You then take the battery that you intend to charge, and I find the easiest thing is drop it on the ground and then loop it into the space that's given to you. You then switch this puppy on. Assuming it's got some fuel in it, it will run away and keep running. You must ensure that the battery charger is actually switched on. I don't think there's any particular way to note that the battery charger is actually switched on. There's no indicating lights or anything that I've seen on one. And there's the only way to know here is much in the same way that you have fires that are warm. This comes up with blue, I think, to show you that it's on. Should we try that? No, it doesn't. Okay, never mind. So yeah, so I've never seen anything particular that tells you whether this thing is actually functioning greatly. So we'll leave that running for a little bit while we talk about some other things, and we'll come back to it later. This, thanks to Mr. C Money here, is another option for charging a car battery that I didn't know about and has only just been introduced to me. And while we're here looking at this, I will give a shout out to Mr. C Money, because he is the person who organised all of these vehicles for this demonstration. He is the Salty Crew quartermaster, and he did one hell of a job pulling all these vehicles together, and I thank him greatly for all of his efforts in doing so. And I also thank him greatly for this, because I did not know this at all. This is a new trick. So you take a truck battery. There's not much in this truck battery. Take a truck battery, and you get yourself some wire, standard wire, just a bale of wire, and you attach it to the truck battery. You then get your battery charger, and you attach it to the truck battery. You can't attach it by itself. You need the wire. The wire makes the connection work. You can then switch your charger on. You attach the car battery in exactly the same way as you did to the other one, and it is now operational, and you can see that it is blue on the outside, which means that it is functioning. And we now wait. This battery is now being charged from the truck battery, and it's about half. So we'll leave that, and we'll come back and check on that while I talk about some other things. So we can ignore that minor noise from the generator in the background. So now that we've covered these things, you'll remember that I said to you before how easy it was to take the Gunter apart. And I said to you, there's a way to stop wags from doing that. Well, here's what you need to know. And you're going to need some additional tools to be able to do that. The first of the tools that we're going to talk about today is over here, and that is the screwdriver. So the screwdriver is very useful because there's a couple of things you very definitely do not want people taking from your car. The first, and this is particularly important, is the radiator. And you'll see if you've got a screwdriver in your hand, you go to the radiator, it'll say lock. Sounds an awful lot like a ratchet wrench. Maybe it's a ratchet screwdriver. And you'll see that without a screwdriver in my hand, I can no longer pick the radiator up. So that means that the radiator is now secured to my car, and the person would need to have a screwdriver to unlock the radiator. Now, I'm not saying people don't have screwdrivers, but they're less likely to have them. The battery, exactly the same. Although this one doesn't have a locking bar on it, and you'll see that some of the other cars do have. That one does not. This one does, so it's got a locking bar across the top. This one has a locking bar across the top. The truck battery is stuck there in its little cage, and I think the Hummer has a locking bar across the top. Well, it's kind of nestled in there. But anyway, what you can do is with your merry old screwdriver is you can lock your car battery in place. Thank you. Seems like my server's being a little desynced today. So yeah, so there you go. Now you can't take the battery away. Thanks to the screwdriver. As far as I can see, there's absolutely nothing you can do with the spark plug. So the spark plug you may have to take with you. So you'll see when you look at the car, you get these things which say it's locked and you need a tool to unlock it. But I've never seen any such thing for the spark plug, nor have I seen any such thing for the light bulbs. So I can't see, you can't lock light bulbs, at least I've not seen it. So that's great. So now we can lock that. But what about the rest? What if people want to steal my wheels? What if people want to steal my doors? I might have a whole load of pristine doors, and I don't want my doors stolen. Or they're all in a particular color format that I want for whatever reason I want it. Maybe I'm using it as gang colors, so when driving through a territory, my mates know not to attack me. Well, here's where you need a wrench. Now, the thing about doors and stuff is, it won't work while the door is shut. So you need to open your door, and you'll see you get an option here for R2 lock. And that does the same thing. I now have it, but I can't do anything with it. This one says take to hands. This one says nothing. So there we go. And if we were to go around with the wrench, you can see in the right position, it's the same for the hood. And it's the same for the bonnet or the trunk. And it's the same for all of these vehicles. Same for this, same for that, same for this. So all of these things can be locked in place with the wrench. So that's how you secure the various panel parts for your vehicle. And of course, we did talk about wheels. Well, you'll have seen the tire wrench kicking around, right? Or the tire iron kicking around, sorry. Well, it's not just around there for fun. Same deal. You can now lock your tires in place and people can't come up and steal them. Over here, say take to hands. Over here, not. I've often said of people who own cars, if you have a car and you haven't locked your wheels on with a tire iron, then you deserve for someone to come along and pick your wheels up and throw them into the bush, because you really should. What about your spare tires? Well, the good news is you can lock them in place too. There you go. And it's the same with all of these, even the Hummer. Option to lock it in place. And even these things. Open it, lock it in place. So all of these things can be secured. Everything that is on your car from an exterior perspective can be secured, excepting, of course, the light bulbs and the spark plugs, because I haven't found any way to secure those yet. Right, so let's go and have a little look at our batteries and see how our battery is doing now. I've been chin-wagging away. Well, there you go. Let's switch that off. This battery, as you can see, is now almost fully charged. Isn't that good news? Isn't that good news indeed? That was a battery that needed quite a bit of charge to it. And you remember this one as well? Almost fully charged. So that didn't take too long. I was only messing around out there for 5 minutes or so, and I'll switch this one off so we don't end up, there we go, we don't end up using too much stuff from it. But yeah, so we've charged two batteries. Batteries two ways. This one, classic. That one, thanks to my good man Mr. C Money. Jolly, jolly good. So here we are. So we've covered our little car. We've covered the basics of the maintenance. We've covered how to look after it. We've covered repairing the engine. We've covered repairing the battery. We've covered the issues with the spark plug. We've covered the bodywork. We've covered repairing the wheels. We've covered the repairing or not of the radiator. We've covered the repairing or not of the light bulbs. We have covered how you go about locking everything in place with screwdrivers, with wrenches, and with tire irons. And you now have yourself in a situation where you have a lovely little vehicle. And there you go. What's true for this is true for this, is true for this, is true for this, is largely true for this. Obviously, we have here a glue plug, but it's the same deal as far as I know. You can't do anything with the glue plug. It has the same headlights. Can't do anything with the headlights as far as I know. But repairing all the bodywork and the engine components and the everything else is all the same. As far as I know, everything is the same with this. I haven't had many trucks in my day. The only thing I don't know is this cover, the tarp cover side of things. I'm not exactly sure how that gets repaired. It's certainly something to look into, but probably not something that a lot of people are desperately worried about when they're more worried about things like wheels and tires and fuel and various bits and pieces. So that's largely it for vehicles. Get yourself a vehicle, get out there, have fun, run around. I will just say one thing, don't drive off the map. If you drive off the edge of the map, your car is going to get stuck and you're not going to be able to get it back, so I wouldn't do that if I were you. As it is, everything else is just tickety-boo. Okay, well, there we are. That's the end of this technical episode on everything vehicles related. I do believe I've covered everything that you should and could, would need to know. I'm sure people will have questions like, where do I find these vehicles, or how do I get these vehicles and everything else. And really, it's one of those things. If you're a proponent of iSurvive maps, iSurvive maps indicates where vehicles spawn on regular servers. On modded servers, who knows, vehicles appear in different ways. Also, probably on official servers, what I would say is a lot of the vehicles are very often picked up and moved by people. They're taken, they're very coveted, they're used a lot. So you might even find vehicles in unusual places, in unusual conditions. Certainly, I think I picked one up in Livonia during one of my episodes that was definitely not in a place where it should be. It looked like a discard from a player. It was in very good condition. It didn't need an awful lot to get it running. So you can pick up vehicles all over the place. They do require an awful lot of work to get them set up and established. And I guess the issue is, once you have them set up and established, it's really disappointing when people steal them or wreck them, etc, etc. I mean, although I covered the fact that you can have your tires locked on your vehicle, you can shoot wheels and tires and damage them. You can shoot bodywork. If someone takes umbrage at your vehicle, they can shoot it. If you shoot the engine, it's usually not the engine that gets damaged. It requires quite a bit of shots, but you can damage the battery, you can damage the spark plug or glow plug if it's a Hummer, if someone pops the hood. As far as I know, there's no way to lock the hood and no way to lock the trunk. So I wish there was, but there wasn't. I have not been able to find one. So people can still cause damage to your vehicle just out of sheer spite, and I guess that's just the way the game is, unfortunately. So I believe that's it. I don't think there's anything left to say about vehicles other than get out there and do it. I did say there's some things that I don't know. I don't necessarily know 100% of stuff. I didn't know that that little trick with the battery charger until it was shown to me only very recently. There may be other tricks that you have out there. I'm happy to do a revision on this. If you have tricks and tips that you're aware of that I may have missed, please feel free to comment. Please feel free to drop them. Please feel free to have a conversation about if you found any ways to fix the likes of the radiator or bulbs or any of those kinds of bits and pieces. But as for now, that's the end of this one. I do hope you've liked it. I do hope you found it useful. Please drop a like. Please subscribe to the channel. Please click the bell notification so you're around for the next one. And I will see you all again real soon. Ta-ta for now. PlayStation